Second. All in favor? Any opposed? Citizen participation, where everybody's here. We're inviting everybody up to the podium. We've got, I think, 15 people signed in this week. We'll allow everybody up to 3 minutes. The one thing that I do ask is someone brings up a subject such as energy use or something like that we can limit that. We don't want to be here all night talking about the same thing over and over again. Again, we deeply appreciate everybody's involvement in this. We all love our community deeply. We appreciate you coming this evening to voice your concerns and comments. We want to keep this very civil. You know, we all live in this community together, and we all share the same roads and houses. So we're all in this together. We want what's best for the community. So, like I said, let's just keep it very civil. We have the girls' homes here next someplace.
They're back here.
So you can keep it civil, people, but say what you want to say because it'll go on record, even if it's repeating what the person behind you said. Don't listen to that.
Mr. Mayor, please, board members, please turn your mics on so we can hear.
I think that they're already on, sir. My board, we'll speak up as much as possible.
They're just for recording. I don't think there's any speakers.
And please don't speak out of order. Please. Keep it very simple. Like I said, there's nobody against anybody. There's no decisions been made on it. Why in this thing we're going to keep this very, very ordinary. Branch Trevor. You got no reports.
Sorry. I wasn't hoping to go first, but here we are.
Yeah.
All right, well, what's going on, everybody? My name is Strakov. I work over at Windoor Unlimited.
Speak up, please. We can't get back there.
I work over at Windoor Unlimited in Troy. It's owned by my father, Steven Strakov. I work there with my brother, Nicole Strakov. And our business has been in Troy for about 10 years now. We want nothing more than our business to thrive and grow like it's been in Troy. But ever since this proposed data center has come to light, it's really changed. It's really thrown a wrench into everything for us. So me personally, I'm 22. I'm fortunate enough to be looking for a home in this area. And it's just the idea of this giant data center looming over everything. It just soils so much of that. And I know we don't want to talk about energy too much, but that's a really big reason, you know, and plus all the fossil fuels these things use, and they're going to have to mess the entire infrastructure of this entire town up to get this thing in here. I think it's absolutely ridiculous to even be considering this. I know it's not official yet or anything, it's just proposed, but the fact that it's even here right now is insane to so many of us. And the last thing this town, or frankly any town in Madison County, needs is one of these data centers. And it's just very disheartening to see, like, I know he's not here, but the chairman of Madison County just all super gung-ho for all these things and disevaluating any sort of counter argument to it, saying he visited these sites and that there's no issues with them, and he's talked to all of these benefactors and everything, but not once have I heard our chairman talk about the people who live next to there. And I think that's absolutely ridiculous and disheartening for a lot of people here. I love this town. I was born and raised here. I just think the very last thing this place needs or anywhere near is a data center like that. So that's really about it. I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Matt, Redenius?
Get a Matt.
Hi, I'm Matt Redenius. I'm here with my wife Kate. We own Canine Social of Troy, which is a very new development. Happens to be right off of Highway 40 in front of RP Lumber. And we just opened up in May. So we're very, very invested in the community. We live right off of Spring Valley. We've lived here since 2019. So a very, very invested community, concerned about this potential data center, which would go directly across the street from our property. Again, I understand this is not approved, but we are very concerned. We want to remind this body of the standards that you all held us to as we were building our facility. We were all concerned about how it would look, and we were told many times this would be one of the very first things that you would see or anybody would see as you drive into Detroit. So you held us to a high standard. You wanted the building to look great. We wound up appeasing the city. If anybody saw our building, you're probably questioning why does it face the way it does. We were asked not to put a parking lot between our building and Highway 40, as a parking lot is unattractive. Okay, that was what was asked of us. We did that. Okay, so now what's being proposed, and again, this may be just some hypothetical proposal, but is an electronic substation, 13-acre substation right across the street from us, and a ton of huge warehouses. That is the absolute first thing you will see as you come into Troy or drive past Troy. Very, very unattractive. We're also concerned about the power usage at that facility and all of the other things that I'm sure you'll hear about today. Yes, not against development. Love to see more development in the city of Troy. Just not there. Please, not there. That is a terrible spot to put it, especially if you're looking to attract more people into the city. If you're looking for Madison County, we all know where there's a ton of warehouses. Right down in Pontoon Beach off of 255. Great spot for a bunch of data centers. That's all I had to say. Thank you.
He's a fan.
I am gonna. Sorry, don't trip on you here. Sorry.
Good evening, everybody. All right, so I came from the Chicagoland area, so I'm used to seeing a whole bunch of buildings and stuff like that. So the change down here, the small hometown feel, seeing the fields grow, farmers out there with their combines is a nice change. With this proposed data center, it makes me feel like I would possibly be going right back to where I came from. My son goes to daycare right across the street from where this data center is proposed. They go outside and play, they walk around the building. Do they want to walk around and see a big ugly building with a hum and all this other stuff? Same thing as Matt, I'm sorry. If he's held to a standard, then I think everybody else should. Beautiful building, by the way. But same thing, several questions that I haven't seen answered is what is it going to do for Troy? Is it going to do anything for our taxes, our income taxes, anything of that nature?
Increase them.
Increase them? Why? Okay, if we're going to be giving them 300, however many acres of land, what's it going to do for us? What is in it for the residents of Troy? Maybe not so much for those that live on the far end that wouldn't really impede on it, but those that are closer to Spring Valley, even those that go to that church, how is that going to impact everyday lives with them? So those are my questions that I'm, hopefully going to get answered here soon, but that's all I got.
Thank you.
Good job. Gale Eckhardt. Okay. I'm Gale Eckhardt. It's here. Country Village Estates, which is right across the highway. And is the land bought for the data center? And if it has been bought for the data center already, were there any incentives? When was it rezoned industrial, and who approached the planning committee or the zoning committee to rezone it to industrial? And again, any incentives for that? And why will our property value go down and our property taxes go up? Because of the data center that is going to be right there. And why do we have to pay to upgrade our water and sewage plants because of the data center coming in? And what is the biggest contract that you have negotiated for the city of Troy? I mean, this one's got to be huge, this contract for data center. And how many council people are going to be living close to the data center?
We might answer at the end of this one. I wish we did, but that is all way down the road.
Okay.
We began transparency, this whole process is possible.
Yeah, so nothing's been signed, the land hasn't been sold.
Absolutely nothing.
Can you answer the last question?
We all live here.
Close to the data center?
Across the street.
Okay. That's fair.
This is not going to be a question and answer session.
Okay,
Okay, you guys get to your statements. And when we get through for everybody, we will definitely share those. But at this point, we can still, we can't know what we don't know. We're just trying to share what we know as it comes up.
all these questions that we asked from all these concerned citizens, will they be in the minutes?
Yes,
Okay, but no answers, just the questions.
well, this is.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
a little form. We're in a workshop for that.
And the other thing is, I'm sorry, is, I didn't really understand how come the, citizens of Troy were not able to vote for the data center or not. You can't vote to say, yeah, we want it, or no, we don't want it.
All of them, all we go into the people of Troy, making this decision. Everyone here has it, all of them, well, if you're in the state limits.
Okay, yeah,
All of them, we all need to
okay,
We enjoy the interaction. That's what we're here for. That's why they volunteer in the town. They're representing to your community and neighborhood. They can use that. Get food. But don't think your voice is not being.
we got a lot of resources to give you guys.
I know you do.
Nicholas Morton.
You sit down.
Well, thank you for allowing this time. While there's a lot of reasons for rejecting any and all proposals for a data center here in the center of Troy, many are going to identify those this evening. I want to speak directly to the humanity that's going to be affected and already is affected, that's going to be affected adversely by this proposal. My name is Nick Martin. I'm the head of school at Bethel Academy. Our building will be completely encircled, as well as Bethel Church. The pastor of Bethel Church is here, other pastors, other congregants, our families are here. And I represent a school that has countless children and teens, parents, teachers, and volunteers who daily enter our building. At our school, we currently serve families with students K through 8, and we're expanding our offerings next year to offer high school secondary program, a full high school secondary program. We're providing our area with a quality private Christian education in partnership with local families. Our student ratio is 9-1. We meet these families and we know them well. They live here in Troy. Though it's still in its beginnings, this is an existential crisis for us. It would absolutely impede our ability to function in that building and ruin our ability to function in that building. Our school has seen students reach new heights in being formed as young people of our community in character, in wisdom, and academic excellence with deep critical thinking, reasoning, and problem-solving skills. I think if you look at this proposal, some of our students, our young students, have seen this proposal, and even they can point out, why are we in the middle of it? So they're going to serve our community well into the future as they graduate, and I hope that they'll return here. They'll want to return here. And unfortunately, this proposal denies our students that environment by placing that 500 megawatt power station and surrounded by dystopian buildings that create noise that drowns out their ability to even have recess together. For students to be productive in a classroom and creates unnecessary burden on their ability to even get to and from by putting a cul-de-sac where at the entrance of our building. So I want to share a recent story from a young student who approached me and asked, are we going to lose our school? This is a question that I had at lunch just last week. And I said, well, I'm thinking to myself, while we may not lose our building directly, we lose the ability to function as a school. As I looked into that young person's eyes, I thought to myself, these young people are watching. They're watching, what kind of community are we going to build? Will they see us building the vision for a town they want to return to and raise a family? Will they see us building a community that brings people together? Will they see us thinking of a future rather than just a promised increase in tax revenue? If the data center is allowed to be built, I fear for what they are going to observe. They will see us choosing a future we know nothing about, with promised benefits that are not guaranteed, or that guarantee more wealth that will not return on investment. And I want them to be able to return here as citizens, raising their families. My task for the City Council this evening is to be as forthcoming. I'm thanking you for being forthcoming, having this meeting, and that you would represent citizens in putting a stop to this development becoming the landmark of our city. Cities have landmarks, and this would be known as the city of the data center. If perhaps someone knows something that is not being shared, please, whether purposefully or unintentionally, please be forthcoming tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Nicole James. Nicole.
I'll take care of that, sorry. My name is Nicole James, and I grew up in Troy. My family has been here for generations. I moved back to Troy in 2023 to raise my children. I wanted them to grow up in the same wonderful community that I did. Troy is a small town with kind people who look out for each other and take care of their community. A data center would destroy a small community. The only positive thing I have heard reported about data centers is there is potential tax revenue for the town. Money is great. We all love money, but at what cost? The known cons to a data center in a small community are endless. Power, water, and health concerns, just to name a few. And then you get to worry about your property values decreasing, because who wants to live next to a data center? The cons far outweigh the pros. The cost is too high. A data center does not belong in a small residential community. AI is coming. You can't stop it, but you can stop it from destroying this community. So I ask you to vote for your constituents. We the people say no. I ask you to vote your conscience and do what is right. Vote no on this data center. Thank you.
Dear Alderman and Mayor, thank you. And thank you for your service in our community and your desire to make the city of Troy a thriving, safe, and beautiful community. I appreciate your hours of faithful service and investment in our community. My name is Tim Lewis, and I'm the senior pastor at Bethel Baptist Church. I've served as pastor of that church for 40 years. I love Troy, Illinois. My 4 children are graduates of Triah High School. My wife is a retired public educator at Triad Systems. 3 of my children, their families live here. 9 of my grandchildren. Troy is our home. We value our city, and we planted our lives here to make a difference. The proposed data center plan is deeply concerning. I am not opposed to progress and development of Troy, but this proposal seems unwise and is certain to result in harm for our congregation. The proposed plan would encapsulate our property. We'd be completely subsumed by a vast industrial complex. We'd be surrounded by acres of concrete, fences, lifeless warehouses. A data center would bring no life, no commerce, no community, no personal exchange of ideas, no beauty, no civic pride, no cultural enhancement. Who would ever plan to build a church in the midst of such a vast field of industrial warehouses and electrical substations? No church would build a church there. So honestly, it feels like a betrayal by the very city we've loved and invested in for decades. You understand? So, my point, this Bethel Baptist Church adds value to our community. We exist as a beacon of light in this community, and our mission is to share the message of love and truth in our city and beyond. And we gather to worship the Lord in a safe and beautiful space, and we teach our Bible to children and adults, and we serve people, and we encourage families, and we help the needy, and we distribute food, and we provide counseling to the hurting and the grieving, and we fight for marriages, and we're a house of prayer. And in these days of dark ideas and moral confusion, uncertainty and distress, with mixed messages of what's right and beautiful and true, we're giving hope and peace and life through Jesus Christ. And this proposal, this project threatens a great asset in our community. Now, Bethel Baptist and all the churches in our town add value to this city that's not measured in tax revenue, but greater in more immeasurable ways. I know that this will hurt our church. It will threaten its very existence. Well, how will it hurt Bethel? These are some of the ways it will hurt us. Number one, isolation. We will become an island in a forest of lifeless technology with no life, no interaction, no connection, no culture, no commerce. Surrounded by dark, cold warehouses of machines. Churches are meant to be in communities. They're meant to be interwoven with people and the community they serve. Aesthetically, lost beauty, encompassed by fences, noise, and stark, lifeless buildings. Economically, it will hurt attendance of our church and destroy our property's value. Spiritually, fewer lives would be impacted. Historically, what will these buildings be in 20 or 25 years? Technology changes rapidly. Storage and computing facilities like this may be obsolete in 15 years. And then what would we be left with? Well, how will it hurt a church? Well, some ways are known and many are unknown. Again, I'm not opposed to technology or data centers somewhere, but not here. Not on the major entry to our beloved cities. They may provide tax revenue, but at what cost? And at what loss? I urge you, as a pastor who loves this city, and I love this city, please reject this site as proposed. These industrial behemoths should be outside of a city, not near places of worship, schools, citizen centers, senior citizen centers, memory care centers, early childhood learning centers, and our beloved civic park. I'm praying for each one of you that you will act wisely and decide what's best, the best way to go forward. Please consider what adds value, resources, community, beauty, culture, civic pride, and life, not just tax dollars. Thank you for your time.
Tim.
I need to do a very good job. Thank you. And I really appreciate the phone call we had this afternoon. Thank you, Mr. I'm not thinking that. You know what I can't
I'm going to destroy this last name. Matt Triah.
Hold on, I need to get this straight. I need to get out.
I don't like speaking in front of people at all. So, here goes. I don't either. I live in Country Village. My house backs the interstate, which will be less than 1,000 feet from the monstrosity. This is not good for me at all. You know, I have 14, my son will be 14. That's not going to be good for him doing homework at night. You know, the noise will never go away. It's, you know, whoever visited these sites, you know, Slusser, whatever his name is for the county, Madison County. Anyway, he went somewhere, he visited something for, what, 4 hours, 8 hours? But this noise will never stop. So, anyway, that's, you know, and the other thing is, if they build something like this, are they gonna put a wall alongside Country Village and is it Cherry Lane to block the, you know, because I mean, that's gonna take my property value and just plummet it. I mean, that, you know, you take a $270,000 house and it might be, you know, 100 grand if somebody wants to even buy it then. So, anyway, thanks.
Wilsmeyer?
Say it again.
He's coming.
Hi, everyone. My name is Matt Wilsmeyer. I am a software engineer. I've worked with companies like BJC and Edward Jones, and I've followed the AI and data center news for several years now, basically since it began. I've been using tools, seen everything. So I've seen a lot of appeals to emotion and a lot of what will happen to my house, the town I grew up with, etc. I wanted to try and bring a more logic-based or maybe financially based argument to the table. So in the assumption that the data center were actually built, I only see two possible outcomes. On the one hand, partway through construction, the AI bubble collapses, and now suddenly data centers across the country with better access to water, better access to electricity and grids that can actually keep up, are suddenly going for rock bottom prices. Anybody can rent them anywhere in the country. You need maybe 10 people on site, depending on the size of the building. It might go up to maybe 30. Not very many jobs. The end result is that Madison County taxpayers are stuck with a huge complex that they can't rent out to possibly anyone, and an eyesore, to put it nicely. That's the most likely scenario in my mind. The other scenario, that somehow the AI bubble doesn't collapse, is that the demand for servers and space is actually present and willing to set up in Troy. Then the residents get to enjoy all of our electricity bills spiking, all of our water bills spiking, all of our property values plummeting, and a constant background noise that, because those servers don't turn off. This isn't a 9 to 5 operation, it's 24/7. For point of reference, if you look at the Colossus data center that powers Twitter's, X's Grok AI in Memphis, they are unable on that grid to keep up with that data center. So what have they done? They've brought methane burners on-premise, 12 of them, I believe, running 24/7 in order to keep that operation going. Pumping nitrous oxide into the air, and all of the nearby residents are at higher risk for asthma and cancer. Now, I'm not asserting that every data center does that, but that should give you an idea of the amount of power we're talking about here and how much we've all had our power go out somewhere in the last year, right? Somewhere from a rolling brownout, or the heat gets high enough that everybody's air conditioners come on at once, and then suddenly everybody's air conditioner shut off along with all their lights. That doesn't get better, a data center. That just gets worse. So I personally feel this is just chasing a fad, like the warehouses before it. It's just going to end with us holding on to property that we helped pay to develop and now can't sell for a wink and a nod. That's all. Thank you.
Is there a James here? I cannot read the last name.
Could be me. Sorry. Dr. James Simmering, that's quite handwriting. Simmering, S-I-M-M-E-R-I-N-G.
Thank you.
I've lived here for 40 years. My name is James Simmering. I live on Westbrook Avenue, which is within a mile of the data center, which pretty much tells you why I'm here. I would like to have any questions and comments and concerns officially entered into the meeting minutes. Is that possible? Okay. They've already brought up other issues. Some issues, the noise issue is significant. It's 55 decibels to 60 decibels. That's measured right at the site of that. The problem with this also is within a mile, it's been estimated within a mile of these facilities, there's also a sympathetic resonant hum, which occurs in some buildings. It's transmitted through the ground. There's not much you can do about it. Okay. And there's nothing, you can put all the walls up, you want to put all the dense foliage up, it's not going to stop that. It's definitely going to be a problem with that. That's more. My questions are this. What are the benefits other than money for this data center to come to this town? Okay. Will you be giving a tax break to the data center? If so, how much and for how long? Okay. Will this be put to a public referendum or vote? If not, why not? I would like it noted in here, power required by this data center is estimated to be 30 to 35 times the power required by the city of Troy, completely, 30 to 35 times that. Okay. Who will be paying for the infrastructure to maintain this? Will it be passed on to the electric consumers in the area for, as you know, on our bills as infrastructure bills? Let's go up. Let's see what else we got. Water and utilities. Will this facility have a cooling system? If not, where is the water coming from for this? Okay, will it be coming from our water supply? Will that be necessary? Can the city guarantee that the power draw will not lead to hikes for residential customers to pay for the necessary grid infrastructure upgrades and to cover this when there are brownouts during the summer? During the summer, their cooling costs go up, and they are always guaranteed power. The rest of us have to pay for the power that they don't even supply. Who is going to compensate people for the 10 to 13% loss in property values that occur within 1 mile radius of these data centers? This has been established nationwide. The construction phase, this is going to last for months and years. They're going to be bringing heavy machinery through neighborhoods, through Bethel Baptist Church. We're losing the frontage road, of course. We're going to lose the road there, right up there, so it's going to affect traffic too. The county has mentioned tens of millions of dollars in property tax revenue. How much of that stays in Troy specifically? How much goes to the state and gets kicked back? And what percentage of that goes to Chicago, which we all love here. That's it. I oppose this measure. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Jamie Fuller.
Jamie Fuller.
Randy Fuller.
Jamie
Fuller. Christian Litscher. Sir, what is the spelling of your last name?
L-I-T as in Tom, S as in Sam, C-H-E-R. My handwriting's not better than the doctor's. All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris Litscher. I moved here a couple of years ago. I worked down at the base. For the record, I don't have the authority to speak on behalf of the base, but I do want to bring up some concerns to ensure that you have done your due diligence in talking with the base because of the amount of entities that are down there. So with that said, Scott Air Force Base is approximately 15 miles away from Troy, and with the data center comes a lot of new technology, which also comes a lot of security concerns. So there are a lot of things in the latest version of the fiscal year 2026 National Defense Authorization Act, which talks about proximity and radiuses to federal installations. Other things to consider would be who is the primary investing authority for this data center. Are they U.S.? Are they using U.S. technology? Have they been properly vetted by whether it's state, local, and federal levels to ensure that we are not posing security risk through installation? Other things to keep in mind, there are also both state as well as federal laws regarding the buffer zones. There's, I believe, in 2025, the state of Illinois added a 25-mile buffer zone to federal installations based on who potentially owns it. So I just want to ensure that the council is doing their due diligence to make sure that we are not imposing a risk. Things to consider: the folks that operate out of the base. You have the Air Force's Air Mobility Command, United States Transportation Command, Army Surface Distribution and Deployment Command, as well as the Defense Information Security Agency, and a host of other entities. Because of the because of the logistical as well as the information entities that exist on the base, what we could do here could have national level impacts should the need arise for any of those entities to be called on. And for every operation that you see around the world, each of those entities probably has a planning part of it. So recommendations would be please ensure that you're doing your due diligence, reaching out to Scott Air Force Base, to all of those organizations to make sure that both federal and local laws are being complied with. And that is kind of the summary. Again, I cannot be as eloquent as the pastors or the headmasters that have gone through. You all can probably hear the impacts for everyone else when it comes to their personal home values and everything else. Something else to consider for those that are sitting behind the desk, I would recommend, if you could, get out and look and see how many folks are standing in the parking lot as well as filling the halls. I would recommend having this in the school next time, just to enhance transparency, to enhance conversation. It's not great to hear, which unfortunately that may be the case for all of us with all the humming coming in the near future, if we so choose. But I would highly recommend having this in a forum where there are no questions, because all the questions have been answered and everyone's been heard. Thank you. Thank you.
Joseph West.
I'm Joseph West. I live just off of Cook Street. So it's less than 1 mile away from the data center. I'm an industrial worker near my trade, so I'm used to loud, noisy scenes all day. I don't want to bring it. And my child, he goes to a place to grow, just over there behind Walgreens. So he also be less than a mile away from it all day, listening to the drowning noise. I mean, others can go on and on about how it's going to increase the pressure because we have to require gauge size and bring that all in here, and then that is a whole other can of worms. I just like to say that I am against it as a young family in the area. If this does go through, I will probably no longer be a young family in the area. So I just want to say that I'm against it.
Cory Beadreau? Beadreau. Can you spell that, please?
Yep, Boudreau.
Thank you.
All right, good morning, council, neighbors. Third evening, I should say. My name is Cory Beadreau. I live in the Fair subdivision. Just keep it safe for my family, my neighbors, and believe that Troy is a place to raise our children. I'm not simply a battery to power a disinfectant monopoly. I'm here to voice my complete and total opposition to the Cloverleaf infrastructure and the proposed data center. The information from this month alone shows that Cloverleaf is not a partner within our community, but a corporation that serves itself. 9 days ago, Cloverleaf was forced to withdraw its plans from Greenleaf, Wisconsin, after the community exposed its playbook of bad business. While the Troy Times and Tribune reports that non-disclosure agreements were not required for our city leadership, Cloverleaf reportedly used NDA to keep the public in the dark in Greenleaf, Wisconsin, while reportedly offering some farmers up to $120,000 per acre. How can you say no to that? Their very name, Cloverleaf, and their greenwash website is deceptive. As many have pointed out, data centers are anything but clean. We don't know who the end user for this facility will be. What we do know is that they owe us nothing. They serve themselves and their investors. Cloverleaf's presence will have a severe impact on our local resources and what we pay for utilities. A state report from last month warns that hyperscale data centers like this one are straining the Illinois power grid. A facility of this size can use as much power as 350,000 homes. That is like 76 Troys in a single center. When Cloverleaf connects to the grid, Ameren will have to build new substations, transmission lines. Under current Illinois law, those costs get passed on to us, all of our neighbors, leading to projected double-digit rate hikes. While the Times and Tribune also noted that a closed-loop system conserving water will be used for the cooling center, that also comes with major risks for our community, such as the trade-off of lower water use but higher electricity consumption. It also comes with the risk of using harmful forever chemicals, or PFAS, used in these systems, which can and do leak into the grounds they occupy. I understand that Slusser was taken to that data center in Nebraska. I don't know what information he brought back, but the questions I do have, what was the honest opinion about the data center? Did you speak to the local community about that data center, or did you only speak with the data center reps? Cloverleaf's own CEO and former Microsoft executive recently admitted that he is most concerned about reaping rewards and benefits of this AI revolution, and that climate goals are taking a backseat to the AI race. What does that mean for our community? They are not here because they want to be green or to benefit our community with tax dollars and jobs. They're here because they see Troy as a cheap date with a source of easy power resources to be exploited. The people of Greenleaf, Wisconsin are not alone. Communities in Dundee, Michigan, Lake Shores and Port Washington, Wisconsin, and 3 locations in Columbia County, Georgia have all stood up to Cloverleaf and said no. Let's join these cities and oppose Cloverleaf's data center initiative. They chose their homes and future over Cloverleaf's cash. Troy is not a battery for big tech, and our resources are not a commodity to be sold to the highest bidder. I urge this council to protect our community, our quality of life, and to follow the precedents set by these of other brave communities. Thank you.
Hey, Walgram. Hello. I live approximately a mile to the west of the proposed area. And my main concern right now, besides all the others that have been mentioned, is noise abatement. How much noise will be created by this? Already we have about 45 decibels from the interstate, and I've read 70 more can be added from the planned data center, which would bring the level up to airport level. And so I have a concern about that. If it were to be approved, would noise abatement walls be required? I hope that they would be. Also, I attend services at the Church of Christ, which is just across the Route 40, catty-cornered from the proposed plan. And the conversation today was, can we exist with this around us because of the noise, because of the noise level? We have a preacher's house just outside the building. So we're pretty concerned about the noise levels and how that will affect us. We're not surrounded like the Bethel Baptist Church is, but it is right outside our front door. So thank you very much.
All right, so that's all for the citizen participation. I deeply appreciate all of your concern. You all spoke very well. I appreciate the professionalism and bringing the points to our, we need to know everything we can to the public. And with your input, it'll help us to do the same in the future. And thank you very much for attending this meeting. We've got a lot of other regular business. You're welcome to stay. It's not the most exciting stuff in the world. Yes, sir.
Is there only a certain amount of time for comments allowed, or what?
3 minutes first.
Well, I've signed up. So are there other people?
What is your name?
Trevor Wood. Who are we doing? It should be on the list.
You're on here.
Are other people on there?
Nope. I skipped you and it was unintentional. Sorry.
Well, I don't have a lot to add. I mean, sometimes this stuff is like, oh, thanks for letting me be here. My name's Trevor Wood. I'm going to be really loud because we need to hear it.
Bring it.
The consensus is, newsflash, no one wants this. We can all talk about how, my health, your health, my water, noise, I'm missing my shows. No one wants this. And the question we need to ask, we have one question. Who wants this? And why do they want it? That's what we need to know. What are they getting?
Money.
Right. And then why are we getting a vote? We need to know. So, Mark Zuckerberg, all this, I'm going to say a lot of random stuff, but you can look it up. I don't have time to source all this, but Mark Zuckerberg's building a bunker. Okay? That's the end result. Why is he building a bunker? I don't know. Maybe they're extracting everything they can from the planet at our expense, and then they're going to go high because they're taking all our money too. Hello? Might want to get off X by now. I don't know. I'm not talking to just one person in the room. I'm just saying this is what we need to be doing. Yeah, air pollution, cooling, energy consumption, and what are the kickbacks? And I'm like, is it like, we're going to use this money for these amazing new parks, millions for parks for our kids, but then like, we can't afford to do anything. We can't afford, we're telling the kids like, no, we have to have Kool-Aid and we have to make like this much and you can't make more Kool-Aid because the water bill's horrible and you can't watch a show and we can't afford the internet. They throttle the internet, they make internet subscriptions so you can only watch like one streaming service because you're paying for every certain thing. Beyond all that, so you're at the, then what's the end result of that? You're at the playground with a gas mask on this awesome playground? Drinking sugar water with a disease because they took all our health care? I don't know. So we need to know about that. And who's into that? The question is who would be into that? I want to talk to him. We all want to talk to him.
Yep.
What else we got? Yeah, so you either have skin in the game or you're posturing and totally uninformed, like it's not a big deal, so you look a certain way. There's no other way around it. You have an ethical responsibility, a social responsibility, a practical responsibility. It's kind of like, you know, it is what it is. I'm going to compare this to, it's like Walmart. Walmart was supposed to make all our lives better, the convenience. It's going to give all us a job. Remember? Walmart was going to come into your town and we were all going to work at Walmart. Remember? Now Walmart has robots for everybody. And all the people who work at Walmart, most of them don't seem too happy. No offense. I'm saying like they didn't do what they said. Pork farming. There's a factory farming. There's a article called Boss Hog. It's about 20 years ago, but it's still relevant. In Rolling Stone, Snoop Dogg's on the cover. He's got a candy cane. And it's basically about the guy who runs, there's a couple pork farms in America, one Smithfield. He runs Smithfield, he lives on Park Avenue, he's got a yacht, and they basically take these factories, pump these pigs through antibiotics, all the feces, all the stuff, they're in grates, there's dead pigs, pushing them through, and they're funneling all that out into lagoons, which turn pink because of the chemical and all the interaction. So it looks like lakes of Pepto-Bismol. You can see it from the air. And when these lakes get full, they're rupturing in the ground like swimming pools that have leaks. When these lakes get full, they then pump it out and spray it into the woods, which then it gets into the air. So all these people who are told, like Walmart, you're going to work at this factory, there's going to be so many benefits, it's union, it's all this stuff. Guess what? They can't leave their house because if they're walking to their car, some of them faint. They have endless smell, they have health problems, but guess what? Pork isn't in danger of like, bacon's not going anywhere. They use those people. Are we, like, so this is just a pattern. It's a pattern on and on, extracting. I sweat normally, don't worry. I just have to.
It's hot, can't reach you.
Yeah, chemical companies. I mean, has anyone seen Aaron Brockovich? You know what I mean? Like, how many times? Like, the stove might be hot this time. But like, these playgrounds look great. But they're like, I mean.
All right, you got 30 seconds.
Right. And so, I think that's all I got. But yeah, I think we need the question answered. We need to know what's up. And I mean, it's almost not a debate. It's almost like good and evil, and we didn't need to know who Darth Vader is. Thanks.
That's right.
Okay. And it's up.